Welcome back, everybody. Rogues Passage Podcast, another incredible episode. We're back here. We're doing full remote, everybody in their own little isolated pods. And we have another special guest. This is, I guess, 2 guest episodes in a row.
Yeah.
I'm Tanner Cherry. I will let, I guess, Brady and Brando introduce, and then we'll introduce our guest.
I'm Brando.
And I am Magpie. Hello, darlings.
And yeah, it's today.
Hello, everyone. I'm Rocky.
Heck yeah, this is somebody that we know from the local community, and we brought Rocky on today to the podcast to teach me how to play his deck, and I guess also talk Pauper, because you're avid in the local Pauper scene, 60 card Pauper, which I'm ready. I got my Altertron deck finally put together here.
Nice. Fantastic.
I'm excited, but yeah. As for today, is there anything we want to get into before we start talking about our escapades at the face-to-face event this weekend?
Let's just introduce it. I'm just going to jump right in, okay?
Yeah.
Playing Pokemon makes you a better Magic player.
Oh, yeah.
I'm just going to say it.
Yeah.
I'm just going to say it.
Yeah, we had a nice little tangent about that the last couple of days, me and Brady. It's there's so many there's so many respective crossover ideals between the two, you know? You've got you've got some kind of type matchup, colors that do better against other colors, leveling up to a certain degree, and doing specific things when you level up what you're using to actually make it more efficient or do a job better.
Well, it gets deep.
This idea definitely has legs. Rocky, are you a Pokemon player? Do you have any experience with Pokemon?
I can't say I do. No, I haven't played Pokemon since I was a wee kid.
Yeah. Did you play any of the original Game Boy games?
Oh yeah.
I feel like I'm the only one here that didn't.
Red, blue, yellow.
I keep my blue on me at all times.
This guy whips out his blue cartridge on the episode.
Yo.
I am a Pokemon master. I own all the handheld games.
And most of the Pokemon and all the handheld games I do.
Oh yeah, I have a living dex. I've captured and have in my boxes every single Pokemon.
Yeah, okay.
That means he has the biggest balls of all the masters.
So for context,
for me, my biggest problem when I play Pokemon is the same thing I have with Magic. I stat hack too much. Yeah. So I ended up looking up all the stats of all the Pokemon and which ones were the strongest, and trying to figure out how to maximize the stats.
Oh yeah.
And that became unfun? Was that the thing that?
That's the unfortunate part. Yeah. And so you almost hack the game.
And here's a bit of a crossover now. So you were hitting CDH levels, and you're like, I don't like what I'm doing anymore.
Yeah, I was just about to say, that's great that you found Magic where that's not possible to do.
Yeah.
Oh, it's possible to do it in Magic.
No, that's the joke. I'm being sarcastic.
Oh, yeah. No, that was actually kind of what spurred the conversation too, is because we had a couple of games on Spell Table where we tried to fairly sit back and talk about the power level of the decks we were playing, and reasonably they kind of sat fairly in the same position. Like, I don't think anybody was really out of there, but there was a little bit of like sour tones behind just how things played out, and it kind of like reinvigorated that conversation of just like Magic the Gathering, especially when it comes to like building your decks, regardless of the format you're playing in. There's different ways to play the game. There's different focuses for how you're playing the game. If you're playing CDH, you're trying to play as quick and concisely and like competitively as possible. It is ones and zeros. It is pure math. When you're playing,
when it comes to the Pokemon, you have the 4 moves, and you have the matchups that go with it, and then all the EV training that went into it, right? Like,
yep. And then when it comes to casual, it's kind of like, it's not always like, it's still about the win, but it's not always about the winning. Most of the time, much to Tanner's chagrin in the past, is why people play like group hug decks. You don't see group hug in CEDH. You see group hug in Commander or Casual Commander, because it's not meant to be. It's like your focus is, are you there to win or are you there to have fun? If you're there to have fun, you're playing silly hokey stuff.
You're almost focused on the meme.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. So for some context as to like why this conversation was happening, from what I understand, or at least from like watching Brady's rant on the Rogues Passage like Facebook reel or whatever today, is the parallel between like the the fact that like Pokemon was very geniusly designed. It was very geniusly designed, it's like rock paper scissors on crack, right? Rock paper scissors is a very, very fundamental concept where like you're advantaged against a certain strategy and disadvantaged against another certain strategy. Pokemon and other games expanded that out into 12 different directions instead of just the one each.
Yeah.
And actually, briefly, Rocky, what you and I were talking about on Facebook Messenger about this deck that I'm going to pilot this weekend coming up in the standard qualifier that you are running, and you were talking about how like, there's just the one hole in my strategy is this certain thing, right? And I might need to grab a couple copies of Cavernous Souls to fix this leak, right? My boat is leaking. It has one little hole. The Magic has these very fundamental strengths and weaknesses where decks get matched up against each other. And I love the analogy of Pokemon because Pokemon makes it so simple, right? Like the fire versus water. I didn't grow up playing Pokemon, so I'm not really well versed in regards to like what Psychic is strong or weak against.
You're picking it up though. Yeah. You're picking it up though.
Yeah.
Really.
Exactly. No, I that's why like when I saw your rant today, Brady, I was like, this is awesome. Like I definitely love the tangent you're going on. And then Rocky, when you were like, I
wish I had woken up more, but yeah.
Yeah. So for some context, we're heading out to the Saskatoon face-to-face tournament tour on the weekend. We're going to get a hotel which is actually at the event venue, which is dope because we can literally roll out of bed, like half brush our teeth and go down and start slinging spells. And I'm excited about that.
And for that, if you are watching on the live stream right now, obviously that's this weekend. If you're watching or listening to this on Sunday on release or past, we're at the event right now. Now. You're watching this. We're downstairs doing stuff right goddamn now.
Or in our hotel because no one wanted to hang out with us and play Magic.
We may just have
well, Tanner won't be there. He'll be playing the top 8 finals.
So. Exactly.
The funny thing is, here I am wanting to. I want to be humble. I want to be like, I haven't played competitive standard before ever. I mean, arena's not competitive standard. Like sitting down at a table and playing like paper standard is so different, right? Like remembering triggers in a real life environment is. It's exhilarating. It's exhilarating. And that's why I feel like I'm stoked to put myself through this again, like this Hero's Journey thing. And like I kind of had all these ideas of what I wanted to play in the standard event. And I was like, man, the decks that I want to play, I don't know if I can spend $350 right now, right? Just to like play this deck. And it took me a little bit to work up to it, Rocky, I guess, when I messaged you and I was just like, hey man, can I like borrow one of your decks? Because like I just want to be able to.
I'm glad you did.
Yeah, and like, look, man, I'd love to talk about this. You sent me the list today. I only figured out today what you were gonna lend me, and this is an ash.
I can't believe how excited you were about it.
Yeah,
I can't believe how excited you are.
This is it's an Ash Lizzle. Was that the content creator? Yeah, she is a streamer, Twitch streamer mainly, I believe. Also like YouTube highlights. Rakdos at heart, like black, red, everything. The girl does not play any other colors. And so, you shipped me this list here. It's an Etali Primal Conqueror, like ramp deck.
Yeah.
Good Lord.
Oh, I love it.
Yeah, so
love to see it. Love to see dinos go burr.
This guy's gonna teach me how to play this deck because I have no hours piloting this deck, right? So it's sick, yeah. Silent Reveille in chat. Speaking of playing, I'm excited to wear y'all hoodie at the local EDH tomorrow. Hell yeah. Thank you so much.
Hell yeah.
Thank you. Some Arizona homies that bought a hoodie.
Hell yeah.
So yeah, we're gonna be at the event. I'm gonna subject myself to more torture. There's no way I pull it out of the bag again. Like last time.
Tanner. Yes, you're gonna.
Well, with a deck like this.
Oh yeah.
See, again, all I can say is you just got to go into it with that like heart of the cards mentality. You never didn't have it, right? If you lose, then you can be all chagrined and be like, dang it. But until you've lost, no, you have won. Nothing else has happened.
Yeah, you know what's funny is like the whole point of that whole thing last time was like, I'm going to show people that it's fun to just go and try for the first time and lose a bunch and still learn something. That was the video idea. That was the template. I was like, I just want to win a match. And if I win a match, I'm going to feel what it's like to win a match in like a large tournament setting. And that first interview that we did, which actually, yeah, the video came out today, so I know, like, I guess some of you in chat have seen it. Hilarious mishap with that. We did get the what's the honor? I guess we got the honor of Face to Face sharing the video on their main feed.
Right,
but they credited the video to a different content creator.
99.
Thanks. I still love you, but
I
really?
messaged him. I was like, man, I worked really hard on this. Is there any way that you could like not say someone else did it? But
it would mean a lot to us.
Yeah, I'm sure they'll rectify that soon enough.
It still links to us. It's still like plastered with us. If anybody just auto hits the subscribe button, it's still our video. And at the end of the day, it just means sorry into the 99. Sorry, Commander Cookout. We just got to get bigger. I'm sorry, guys.
Yeah, and probably like publicity, whatever.
Exactly. No, exactly that. Free publicity for everybody. Plus, we've spent the last like month, 2 months, 3 months on everything we do, hamming up into the 99. They're fantastic. They're a fantastic group of people.
Yeah. Couldn't have been a better group of people to take credit, I guess.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm just joshing. Like the link still goes to our video, and I'm super stoked that people are seeing it. But yeah, like anyway, I subjected myself to build a Pioneer deck, learn how to play that Pioneer deck, and I took that pretty seriously. I was like, I wasn't grinding games on Magic Online or anything, but I was watching a lot of YouTube content on how to play Boros Heroic. And then when I went and sat down on day 2, I ended up getting a 3-0, and it was like the greatest feeling in a long time. Like that was even just like editing the video. I was just like, yeah, I remember how good I felt that day. I was just buzzing, but we'll see. I don't know. I mean, like standard is like, you know how draft and like pauper take a little bit more play skill because they're like the edges are narrower. Mm-hmm. I feel like standard is like that. Standard, you got to be knowledgeable about the format. Which actually, have you done any grinding on standard in paper recently, Rocky?
Oh yes, very much so. So I am taking this year very seriously. I'm gonna try and go for a pro tour here this year.
Oh yes.
So it is standard.
Impressive,
it is
right on.
standard season. Yeah. So this year it looks like they're rotating between modern and standard as the two formats.
Yep.
So we should be up until summer, I believe, is standard season.
So
I will be playing a lot of local qualifiers here.
I am so happy about that too, because they really needed to do that. Standard was suffering from the pandemic, and as much as like some people really don't like standard, some people are opposed to it, this and that. But like I think that
it's not for me.
Well, even the people that don't appreciate standard or play standard, I think they need to learn how important standard is to the health of their game, and like Wizards producing the game that they do to the level that they do, so that you can play all the other cards in the other formats you do. Like standard is very, very important to the ecosystem. And
well, to add on to that, I think that the big thing that a lot of previous standard players hated was that the meta was very narrow. Mm-hmm. So there were 2 or 3 decks that always dominated. But with Wizards adding that extra year on for rotation, and now being a 3-year rotation, the meta is massive. It's massive. There are probably 4 or 5 decks you can play that are viable. Yeah. And it's so healthy for the environment. That's what I love about it.
Right. So actually,
Rocky, are you excited about the clues with the meta going on right now? Are you excited about with the way the meta is going with all the clues being revealed from Murders at Karlov?
Murders of Karlov I've been keeping an eye out on a lot of the leaks. I think that Control is getting a huge boost with a lot of the leaks that are coming out. So I'll see how it affects it. It is really good because I feel like the meta's been really aggro dominant the previous little while. And so we'll see. I believe Atraxa decks specifically are getting a huge boost. So
that's I mean, so I think I identify more as an aggro player. I respect Control.
Well, you're a Spike.
But spikes can be very, very like blue-white control, blue-black control type.
Yeah, that's true. That's
right.
True,
yeah. The thing is here, a Spike will play whatever deck is the best. It's like a true Spike is
you're a liberal Spike.
I'm a.
It's like in politics.
So yeah, you had mentioned that the blue-white, was it blue-white soldiers was the matchup that you seem
Yeah. So I myself, I'm a huge combo player. So I see this Rakdos ramp deck as a mixture of a little bit of control and a little bit of combo. Even though on most sites it lists this as red-black control. But I mean, you're essentially ramping into Etali, and Etali is just a combo piece.
We have
that plus Breach the Multiverse, you know?
Yeah, dude, you sent me that, and it's like, oh yeah, it's Etali Primal Conqueror and like Breach the Multiverse, and I just like just saliva dripping on the side of my face.
We have Kyle Parker on YouTube. Kick the trees, light the fires.
Kick the tires, light the fires. That is.
Kick the trees, light the fires.
It says tires, doesn't it?
Does it say tires? The quality's low. It's like that. Is this a YouTube for ants?
Is this YouTube for ants?
YouTube for ants?
Okay, here
I'm talking us both up too. Thank you, Kyle Parker. I don't know why I'm photogenic. I was born this way. And then he's amping you up. Look, Spell Piercer on the Twitch chat as well. Tanner for
I know y'all
playing your games.
Y'all have
so much support.
Y'all have I guess confidence in me. Like I appreciate it. I'm gonna do my best.
I just like setting up the fail.
Well, and that's why we're here to do some learning. And I guess Rocky, can you give me a brief overview as to like what early turns look like in this deck and what the finish? I'm going to try and find a way to view options, visual stacks.
Yeah, you're gonna want card view here.
Yeah.
So you're gonna want to do card view.
Card view is where is that? We got visual stack split.
Yeah.
What is going on here? We're doing it live, guys. We're doing it live. View style.
Yeah.
Visual grid. Why isn't it changing? Do I have to press? Oh, save. All right, we gotta hit the old save button there.
Fantastic.
Go do it.
Fantastic.
Okay, we got the Celestis.
All right, so
I'll let you lead the force here.
All right, sounds good. So I'll give you a little bit of primer first and foremost. So before I selected which standard deck to build, I really wanted to look at the meta. And as I had mentioned, I noticed that the meta right now is a lot of decks going wide. So going wide is one of the biggest leading factors right now. So for example, red deck wins, soldiers, a lot of aggro, a lot of getting big spells out. Same with Boros, you know. So this deck itself runs 13 pieces of removal, and it's mass removal. So burn down the house, Brotherhood's End.
Yeah, burn down the house is 5 damage to each
everything.
creature, each planeswalker.
And devils.
And devils.
Don't forget the devils.
and or devils.
And or devils, which is create 3 devils. So it's got wide or delete.
You got it. And then Brotherhood's End is 3 damage or all artifacts.
Okay.
So that was my first thinking is how can we wipe the board and how can we make sure that you're not falling too behind when it comes to the board state. Now, the second thing I looked at is, once again, going back to the Atraxa deck. In my opinion, that Atraxa deck, which is a 4-color domain control deck, so it basically controls the board until you can lay down Atraxa. That is, in my opinion, the gatekeeper. So a lot of people are playing that deck when they're talking about control. This deck, in my opinion, absolutely dominates Atraxa. And the reason being is Etali. So your goal for this deck is to keep the board clean as much as possible with mass removal, and then you have spot removal as well. So you've got, if you scroll down a little bit, you've got your black removal there.
Shoulder's Edict and go for the throat.
Yeah, so you've got you've got Edicts and go for the throats, and then you also have your enchantment there. So
the Virtue of Persistence. This card, I am so excited to play this card. When this got spoiled, I was like, amazing. Wait, what? This card's nuts.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So -3/-3. It gets rid of most of the early board big players, and then gaining the 2 life is a nice bonus there. And then of course you got the go for the throats. And then the best part about the edict effects there is that it controls. You can sacrifice planeswalkers as well. So that's very important.
Yeah, Shieldred's Edict. Oh man, can you imagine if that was a common? For Pauper. Pauper would be nuts.
Well, you really don't.
Oh yeah, I guess there's no planeswalkers, so it would be creature and non-token.
Yeah, there's no planeswalkers.
Yeah. Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
Disregard.
Okay. Of course. Now, let's talk about the ramp version of, or the ramp portion of the deck. So what you're doing is you're stalling the board state till you can hit the big score.
Yeah.
And big score, as you can see, what it does as an additional cost to the card, you discard a card, but then you get 2 treasure tokens, you draw 2 cards. So essentially on turn 4, you're at 4 mana plus 2 treasures. And then turn 5, you drop an additional land. This deck plays 27 lands. So that is very high land count. If you look at the most common decks, the traditional land count is somewhere between 23 to 24, and it needs it. You'll notice a lot of your lands actually filter themselves out. So you're playing Field of Ruins, and you're playing Land Destruction. So that really helps clear the board once again, and you're using that to once again stall out by deleting a lot of the multicolor lands that 4-color Atraxa is using, even any of the 2-color decks.
Yeah, any
You're
of
really
the
trying to stall the
triomes.
Yeah, exactly. And the best part about that is that as you start to use those lands, you're filtering out your own lands in the deck as well.
Do you find yourself conflicted quite often whether or not to use mana to destroy a land or using removal of other kinds?
Generally, no. Because the removal is mass removal, the most challenging part about this deck is you got to figure out the tempo. How many turns do you have before the board is too wide for you to control?
Yeah.
Right? You don't want to use your mass removal too early, because then it gives them an opportunity to rebuild the board state.
Yeah.
But you also don't want to use it too late where your life total is now dwindled too low.
Right.
So I generally find that using the land destruction early on is fantastic. And then right about mid-game is where you're starting to use the creature removal / mass removal. And then late game, of course, you should have enough mana essentially by turn 5. That's always the goal. Turn 5 is your big turn there. You'll have your 2 treasures plus your 5 mana, and you should be able to lay down Etali, or you should be able to lay down the
Chandra?
On a blank here, sorry.
Or sorry,
no,
the Virtue?
Not the Chandra. No, not the Virtue.
Breach the Multiverse.
The Multiverse.
Yeah.
There you go. Sorry, I drew a blank there.
No worries. And Breach the Multiverse is a sorcery that reads, each player mills 10 cards. For each player, choose a creature or planeswalker card in that player's graveyard. Put those onto the battlefield under your control. Then each creature you control becomes a Phyrexian in addition to its other types. So
such a good card.
Yeah, the cool thing about this, I guess, it has resiliency to your Etali getting countered and stuff, or discard it, right? You can discard it to big score and reanimate it pretty easily. Virtue of Persistence and Breach the Multiverse are both going to bring that thing right back. And then what's Archfiend is also just another reanimator target?
So we'll talk about Archfiend in a second here. Okay. Archfiend is a fantastic little flavor booster. But you have one little trick in the deck as well. So if you want to just hover over Chandra so everybody can get a refresher on what Chandra does. The one part that people forget is the first part of Chandra there.
The static ability
the static ability.
Yeah.
So the first instant or sorcery you cast is copied. yeah.
That's a fun mouth breaker.
And Chandra's +1 there is add 2 mana of any color.
Man,
so
what a house.
Essentially should have enough mana to cast Chandra. If Chandra can last 1 turn, your next turn, you're either going to double burn down the house, so that's 6 1/1s or 10 damage to everything, or you're going to get to breach the multiverse twice.
Yeah.
So mill 20 cards, get 4 creatures is essentially what you're doing.
Oh.
That's where the value comes in. Right there.
Man.
So Chandra is the bonus piece. And the best part about Etali is that with Etali, you can flip into Chandra too.
Oh, yeah.
And
Etali
that is
will...
why this deck is... Yeah. Oh, go ahead.
Yeah, Etali, I guess we'll read Etali for people not the old Etali was basically like everybody flips the top card of their library. If it's a non-land card, you cast it for free. But the new one is each player exiles until they hit 1. It's kind of buck because it's like you can't really get what is the downside compared to it?
It's on ETB and not attack, so you can't.
Correct. It's an ETB instead of getting 1 every turn, but
but then you have the flip side if you ever use the flip side. Yeah,
which I assume that's why the Zeotaurus Proving Grounds are in the deck, is just to add the 3rd color for transforming Etali in the rare occasion.
No, you don't need it at all. In fact, it's for cycling. So that's why the triomes are in there, is so you can cycle and you can filter out if you need to.
Okay. Are you ever trying to flip Etali or no?
So you are. So we'll get there for the win con there. So the deck does have kind of two bigger win cons that really help clear the board and win. But the one really amazing thing that happens with Etali when you're playing against Atraxa is if you hit Etali and your opponent flips an Atraxa, now you get the Atraxa trigger as well on your end. That's why I think this deck is so dominant against Atraxa decks.
Yeah, that's what Etali has always been the best at. Like, well, I'm only as good as what your deck is giving me, right? Like,
that's exactly it. Yeah. So when you're playing against that 4-color control and their win con is Atraxa, you're still in their win con.
Well, but also Virtue of Persistence is at the beginning of your upkeep, put target creature card from a graveyard.
Yeah.
Right. So if other people are milling to try and put stuff like to reanimate, you're like Virtue is nuts. How often do you put that thing down at 7 mana? I guess the deck is built to ramp, right? So.
Yeah, the deck is built to ramp. I find that the Virtue doesn't come out as often, so the Virtue only comes out when the board state stalls. Okay. But I find that you're much better off casting Etali or casting Chandra. So you're going to get much more value out of that. You're trying to get at the value play as much as possible. Cool. Now, let's talk about the win con here. So, because this deck generates so much mana, if you want to hover over Etali and you want to flip Etali.
Yes.
Okay, so it takes 9 and a Phyrexian mana to flip Etali. So 9 should be incredibly easy to get to. You're already at 7. If you happen to flip Chandra as the Etali flip, Chandra will give you the bonus 2 right there. And the important thing to know about the other side is the poison counters.
Yeah, this is
11/11 trample.
Yeah, it doesn't say toxic or infect, right? It just says basically whenever he deals combat damage, they get that many poison counters.
Yep,
that is correct. So him in itself is dealing 11 to the board. So the best case scenario is for you to cast Etali, for the Etali to flip a Chandra, and then for you to have a burn down the house in your hand. Then you use the 2 mana from your Chandra to flip Etali. Etali's 11/11, and then you cast Burn Down the House, and Burn Down the House triggers twice because of Chandra.
Yep. So you wipe the board and connect for 11.
Wipe the board, connect for 11, you win.
Yep.
You got it.
Okay, so that's
dirty. Now, I love that.
Yeah. Now, if you want to scroll up a little bit to the 4 slot and you want to hover over Archfiend of the Dross, it should be right above Burn Down the House there. So what Burn Down the House does, it gives you a second win con against those go wide decks. And the most important thing to read about that card is whenever another creature hits the battlefield that your opponent controls, they lose 2 life.
Oh, Brady.
Turn off my technology because.
Sorry. So yeah, whenever a creature an opponent controls dies, it loses 2 life. Okay, so we're turning the removal into a win con of itself.
Yeah, exactly right. So ideally, you drop the Archfiend. Who cares if the Archfiend dies? If your opponent has a huge board state and they've gone wide, they're about to lose a ton of life.
All right, so
mass removal once again.
We've got a line of text here on this Archfiend that says at the beginning of your upkeep, remove an oil counter from Archfiend of the Dross. That if it has no oil counters on it, you lose the game.
Yeah.
Yes.
Are we able to sacrifice this creature and get around that, or is that like if we
definitely.
So does Shieldred's yeah, I guess Shieldred's Edict will let us get around this, right?
Not the edict, because I believe the edict says edict.
Also,
it does, yeah. Sorry.
If I read the sort of strategy as well, it's like even if you had the mana to cast the Archfiend, if you're not properly set up to like do a burn down the house, like you wouldn't cast the Archfiend. You're waiting for when you know that you can pop it off, or else realistically, it's you kind of just putting yourself at exposure.
That's exactly it. So Archfiend is not always a 4-drop. sometimes even if you have no play on turn 4, sometimes you're passing the turn instead of casting the Arcane.
Yeah, that makes sense.
You got to be really careful there. Yeah.
Cool. Well, how has this deck been for you so far? I see we got the Celestis and the Iron Crag here. I assume this is just strictly for ramp, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, you got it for ramp there. And keep in mind with the Celestis there, the Day Night does allow you to card draw as well, so it allows you to filter the deck if you need to.
Oh, cool.
So I've had mixed results with the deck. The thing I'm finding with the deck is that it does great against a lot of decks that aren't able to curve out. So that's kind of the difficult part, is if you're playing against a deck and the deck tempos out on you, turn 1 they play a creature, turn 2 another creature, turn 3 another creature, and then on turn 4 you try and do a mass removal and they counter it, you're kind of hooped.
Yeah.
You're kind of hooped. The deck is, in my opinion, a mid-range deck.
Yeah.
So it does kind of get out-tempoed by a lot of those fast decks.
Yeah,
so
it's almost like it starts at mid-range and then it hopes to curve to late game, right?
Yeah, exactly. So the big one that I'm having difficulty with is against blue-white soldiers, because they get a ton of soldiers out and then they've got blue counter spells. So then when you go to try and cast those mass removal spells, they just get countered.
Would it make sense to try and filter in at least like a playset of like something that's targeted discard? Like I don't know if any of that exists.
We've got that. We've got duress, we got
okay,
yeah, 2 duress in the sideboard.
Yeah. So game one is a little difficult. Game 1, you basically just gotta hope that they don't have as many counter spells for your to answer out your plays.
Yeah.
But then game 2, you really gotta do that chess match where before you cast your combo or cast Etali, you lay down the duress to figure out exactly what you're working with.
Yeah. And then we got cut down, which is to control the early game if you're going up against stuff that's coming out quick, right? What is Gix's command? Destroy each creature with power 2 or less. Yeah, I mean.
Yep.
And I mean, choose 2.
More mass removal.
Sick. Okay, Graveyard Trespasser's just a house in standard right now.
Yep.
Yeah.
Enters a battlefield or attacks, exile up to 1 target card from a graveyard. This is very efficient graveyard control. Deep Cavern Bat seems good here, Kyle says in chat. Deep Cavern Bat, what? This is a card that I'm not super familiar with. Deep Cavern Bat. But I've heard people talking about it.
Yeah, the issue with Deep Cavern Bat is that it does a great job of looking at your opponent's hand and stealing a card, but your mass removal kills it. So your Brotherhood's End, you burn down the house, it's 5 damage to everything or 3 damage to everything. So it kills the bat, and whatever card you've taken goes right back into your opponent's hand.
Oh, okay, I see. So yeah, you're almost foiling your own plan at a certain point.
It's nice because you get the information, so you get to see what's in their hand by revealing it. So you get the information play. But I find that for the 1 mana less, the duress is much better value.
Cool. Yeah, duress.
Ooh. Hey, I brought this up with you when we were talking once on the podcast about Rakdos scam and how to downgrade potentially the build by using duress, and you're like, duress sucks. Now, am I hearing this now? The duress has a little bit of balls.
Well, I'll tell you, yes,
duress has always been a good card.
Duress is incredible when it's the best you have. Standard is limited to. Standard doesn't have Inquisition of Kozilek. It doesn't have Thoughtseize, right? We've got Duress.
I know.
and at 1 mana, like Duress is as old as time, and it'll do, right? Like if that's what you have, that's what you got to use. And I mean, God, look at this art.
It'll do.
Look at this art. This Strixhaven Mystical Archive, like
they knocked it out of the park for the Strixhaven Mystical Archive cards. They were all so gorgeous.
Badass aesthetic.
Oh. Yeah.
Sick.
I love the border on them. They're so nice.
They are. They knocked it out. I just got I got a playset of Lightning Bolt, the foil Lightning Bolts. I'm just, dude, Pauper has broken me. Like I've been trying to like put together nice, like really pretty versions of all like the Pauper staples, and I'm just gonna sleeve them all in the same color sleeves just so that I can like. I feel inspired to brew a lot of decks right now, and the fact that Pauper is like I can literally just like cut and paste the list and send it to my doorstep for $35. It's amazing.
Well, I just got my list figured out from Phoenix. I'm working on an Impact Tremors / Firebrand Archer deck. Very, very excited. Yeah.
Spicy. I like it.
Spicy. Well, hopefully it's not going to be as strong as my Simic Infect, but whatever.
Oh, Brady, like if I can't make it to Pauper Night tomorrow, you should go with Rocky. They're going to Ogre's Den to grind out some Pauper.
I'll be there.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, fantastic.
I have no reason not to.
So,
I have no reason not to.
Yeah. Is it okay if I give a little plug out here then?
Yeah, of course.
Yeah, absolutely, man. Do your thing.
Yeah. So Ogre's Den, every second Wednesday. So every other Wednesday. So every 2 weeks. Ogre's Den has a tournament 7 p.m. It's a pauper tournament. As far as I know, all the store prizing goes towards it. And then every Saturday at First Player, there is also pauper. And this Saturday specifically is the Pauper Store Championships.
I know. Yeah, you were the one at the last face-to-face event. You were like, yo, you should sign up for this. It's January 27th. And I was fully on board until I realized that was the same date as the Saskatoon event. So
I know, yeah. Unfortunate. So, but Pauper is blowing up here in Calgary. So I would love to see more players out for sure.
Yeah, I got this like really cool leather harness that I got from a music festival years ago. It looks really badass. I feel like an actual proper, like rogue from D&D wearing its, his armor. And I can fit 2 pauper decks in both pockets, and I feel so sexy. It's like it's like literally a holster. It's styled like a gun holster. What am I pulling out of the pockets? It's a freaking Magic the Gathering deck. No, I love that flavor. It's good.
Oh, God. I love it.
So good. All right, let's continue going through this sideboard. We got Lithomantic Barrage, which is quite a spell. It is.
Yeah, the most important part about that is it can't be countered.
Yeah, is spell can't be countered for 1 red sorcery. Lithomantic Barrage deals 1 damage to target creature or planeswalker. Deals 5 damage instead if that target is white and or blue. So yeah, this is what sideboards are for. They're for silver bullets. You want to have stuff that is like, I'm bringing this in against a certain opponent. And that is actually, man, like, I think, what was it, Fry was like this. It was like a good sideboard card. It couldn't be countered. 1 red, did 5 damage. Here, I'm going to look that up. Fry was very similar. MTG Fry. Yeah, no, it's actually just 1 in a red, but it's an instant. Spell can't be countered. Fry deals 5 damage to target creature or planeswalker that's white or blue. So, Lithomantic Barrage, 1 damage to target creature, planeswalker. It's basically the same at sorcery speed for 1 mana less.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So, I mean, I wish it wasn't sorcery speed. I really do. But, beggars can't be choosers.
Can we just talk about the art on Fry for a second?
Just smoking chicken legs.
Yeah, smoking chicken legs.
So good.
Oh God, that spell was so funny. All right, and then we got, of course, 2. What is this card? I've never seen Sheoldred the Apocalypse before.
Yeah,
it sounds like a bad card.
It's my girlfriend. I'm sorry about that. She does her best.
She does damn well than her best. I gotta tell you though, man. I gotta tell you, man. She's a free spirit because she's out here fucking everybody's life,
dude.
And that is what I'm so proud of.
Also, can we talk about the price right now? Can we talk about the price of Sheoldred the Apocalypse?
$139.
Card Kingdom says $99.99 American.
Yeah, no, we looked it up today on Face to Face. $139.
Can we talk?
And that's just for that print. The other prints are a little.
No, my foil is worth like 166 American.
Yeah, but what I want to talk about is the fact that the budget print, not budget, just the regular non-Gucci print.
Yeah.
When was the last time there was a $100 card in Standard?
It's been a minute,
right? Like this
it's been a hot while. Yeah,
it's $100 American.
I mean, I feel like the incarnations got pretty close. Pretty close to that.
The incarnations? Are you talking about the
Evo cards.
Like the Rakdos scam cards.
Well, those were in Modern Horizons and they were never legal in Standard. They were printed directly into Modern.
That's right. Yep. Modern is a Commander thing. I don't know shit about
Modern is not a Commander thing. Modern is a competitive format. Yeah, no.
Yeah, Pioneer, Modern, Standard.
Well, so okay, Pioneer, Modern, and Standard they have similarities in the fact that they take all of the main story sets, right? Is like what they put in there. Modern is weird because at one point they just decided to print these like secondary supplemental sets that were not legal in anything other than just Modern, right? Modern Horizons was like, what if we just printed Modern cards straight to Modern? They don't have to go through Standard, right? So we don't have to worry about them being too powerful for Standard or too powerful for Pioneer. What if we just printed cards that were Modern power level? Well, but that's what they promised, and then they were like Modern plus 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 plus, and they basically like the format is before Modern Horizons and after Modern Horizons. It was like a complete and total set rotation.
Yeah.
I always just joke. It's the format is just who can build the best scam deck. That's all that Modern is.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, you're not wrong.
I thought it was so funny that when they finally banned, they banned Fury to try and tag the Rakdos scam decks, and then the first big tournament following that ban was won by Rakdos scam without Fury.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
I think they should have gotten rid of Grief instead of Fury. Fury is good. Grief, I think, was just that little bit more potent.
Yeah.
I'm confused by that. Why Fury? Like, hand control is on average, I think, the most crippling for.
Right, but Fury cleans up.
Meta players saying that, but yeah,
Fury basically made it so that like you could. Fury is a red card. Let's just bring it up on screen here.
Mm-hmm.
MTG. All I have to do is add one letter to Fry, and we can get Fury. So Fury is double strike. It's a 5 mana. You'll never pay 5 mana ever. It is double strike for 3/3. When it enters a battlefield, it deals 4 damage divided as you choose among any number of target creatures or planeswalkers, and you can evoke it for exiling a red card from your hand. So the 4 damage is divided. You can do 1, 1, 1, and 1. That was the big thing about it, is that it could just wrath everybody's board.
Ban. That's so funny.
Like,
only 4 formats it's legal.
Yeah. We got banned in Modern. It's legal in Legacy, Vintage, Commander, and Oathbreaker.
Yeah.
But yeah, Fury deserved to get banned. I think Fury, like the evoke elementals were. Have you played much Modern, Rocky?
No, that's the one format I can't afford to play. So.
Yeah.
No.
I agree with you, Tanner. Fury did deserve. I still think it would have made sense, at least for the health of the format, for the health of play and everything that's going on. Like I'd be curious to see, because we can't really know unless we see the statistics, and we're not going to it now. If they'd gotten rid of Grief instead of Fury, because Fury is good at like going wide, hitting hard.
Mm-hmm.
But kind of like Brady said before, it's like the Grief hand control, I feel, is like kind of what was making the Rakdos scam decks really sore. There's so much other things as we're looking through this list for this Etali deck that do what Fury was doing. Yeah, they might cost a little bit more, but they're still there and they're still viable. Where if your opponent doesn't have a hand, they're not. You can't play again if you don't have a hand.
They ran out of Pokemon. Pokemon.
I guess do we want to shot call this? Do we think Grief is going to still catch a ban?
I don't think it's going to catch a ban now that they've done Fury.
No.
I don't.
No.
We'll see how they adapt and abuse Grief.
Yeah, actually, I'm going to go on the side that it won't, because they want, like Kyle's saying in chat, they wanted to neuter, not kill the deck, which is responsibly the way that you want to handle bans and restrictions. You do want to take a shot at something to amend the problem, but in the best case scenario, you don't want to ranch the deck.
Yeah.
Right? Because
don't want people buying those cards, playing those cards.
Yeah, because consumer confidence is a huge thing. Like the banning department of Magic the Gathering, if they were to ban the One Ring right when it came out, when everybody was really mad about the One Ring in Modern, like the stockholders on Hasbro, bro, there would be assassinations happening. It's like, no, like that card is selling boxes. Like that card's buying me a new house. Like, like there's so much interest. There's so much push and pull, and like consumer confidence is one thing, right? Like let's say somebody buys 4 copies of the One Ring and they get banned in 3 weeks, and they're like, dude, now my cards are worthless. Like I'm never going to invest in another pricey deck again. Which people not investing in pricey decks means that less cards sell. It's
speaking of decks, Mercy is asking exactly what deck is this?
Ooh.
How would you coin this deck? How would you phrase
Rocky,
it?
you would say this is black.
Deck.
Black-red control?
This deck is formerly known as Rakdos Ramp. Is what it is called. It's Rakdos Ramp is what this deck is. So if you are looking online, it is not Rakdos Midrange. Rakdos Midrange is a completely different deck. So this is Rakdos Ramp.
Yeah, Kyle's saying switch to Orzhov Scam. That deck, in Modern, it's trying. From what I hear, it's trying. Yeah. The like ephemerate combo with Grief. I mean, that was what everybody was afraid of when Grief got spoiled, right? Oh, yeah. When Modern Horizons 2 was on the spoiler list and they saw Grief, people were like, dude, Ephemerate is insane with this.
Yeah.
And it is. But actually, yeah, like when it comes to neutering a deck, they did it. It is not as much of a menace anymore. We're back to the good old days of Amulet Titan still slapping.
I really want to make a Sultai commander deck that can abuse Simic, token creation, and just create 100 Griefs.
Yeah,
that's like my flavor. So like something using Essex, like oopsies, there's 10.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Oh yeah. Just because it got brought up before. Sorry. No, go ahead.
I'm of the personal opinion that I think we should just get rid of that deck altogether. The modern meta right now is so unhealthy that I think that deck just needs to go. Just scam in general. Just kill it and let's see how the meta adapts.
And
do you think there's ever going to be a dawn where they ban deck lists? Do you think that's ever going to be a thing? Is that too eccentric?
That's so hard. You want to hit as little as possible, right? Because otherwise you scare people.
It's also kind of impossible to do it because it's like, so you ban a deck list. Does that mean only that configuration of the list? If I swap out one stack of 4 cards for another, it's all of a sudden legal?
I don't know. We tried taking away blue once in a tournament, and what happened? was the caveat. So.
It was a mistake.
Yeah,
you take away people's blue, and they're just like, fine, nobody gets to have any fucking fun.
Yeah, see, we got...
it's actually funny you say that. I don't know if any of the followers of the stream are Yu-Gi-Oh players, but my understanding is actually that's apparently what Yu-Gi-Oh does. So Yu-Gi-Oh, every ban season they just ban the top 3 decks. Is apparently how they do it. So.
And how long is a season?
I'm not sure. I don't play Yu-Gi-Oh, unfortunately.
Because if it was like 3 weeks, that'd be nuts.
Yu-Gi-Oh's a weird.
Yeah, Yu-Gi-Oh's
ocean to swim in.
Yeah, Yu-Gi-Oh's a different kind of beast. Yu-Gi-Oh's, I don't know how to describe it. It's closer to solitaire than, like it's weird. When anybody watching this or listening to this, go look up on YouTube. Just look up competitive Yu-Gi-Oh, and let your brain be fried by the fact that like 80,000 things happen that seem to have no correlation with each other, and yet people are still just like, okay, yeah, cool, that was a great game. I scooped. Yeah, let's do another one. It's like, what did I just watch?
There was some guy on social media made this perfect example of the best starting hand for Magic and the worst starting hand for Yu-Gi-Oh, and it was the same thing. He ended up spending like 10 minutes to get to the win, turn 1 for the Yu-Gi-Oh player, and then it was like a turn 1 Soul Ring into this. Okay, yeah, and I pass, and then he does everything else turn 2 and then wins. So it's like, and the way he concludes it was like, with the Magic player, is like, yeah, man, I'm sorry, I just happen to have the really good starting hand. And the guy with the Yu-Gi-Oh player was just like, man, I'm sorry, that just sucked.
Yeah, two totally different beasts.
Yeah, totally different beasts. There's that one guy too, especially I can't remember his name right away. Unfortunately, I can't prop him up, but he's a Magic player playing Yu-Gi-Oh on social media somewhere. I think it's on Twitch and on YouTube. And it's the things coming out of his mouth while he's trying to comprehend all these new zones and weird things that the Yu-Gi-Oh meta has constantly evolved over the last decade and stuff. It's just, I can't understand any of it. I remember one card, Magical Marionette, and I think I can translate it in Magic terms. So whenever a creature dies, you put a 1/1 counter, you put a counter on Magical Marionette. And then for 2 mana, you remove a counter and you destroy target creature. Hey, I'm pretty sure that's accurate. So anyone watching this at all, look up Magical Marionette.
Isn't that like, what is that Karlov or whatever?
That's like whenever you gain health, put a thing on it. And or even like...
Yeah, you put counters on it and then you remove counters to exile.
Yeah. So basically, yeah.
So it's the same game.
Marionette, I love that card. And the art was really cool too. I really love the art. It was some kind of crazy ethereal ghost puppet master. And I was just like, yeah, anime.
Ooh, I've
not watched any since.
I've got an idea. Can we... we're on Mox Field here, this list that you sent me, Rocky. Can we do sample opening hands?
Yeah.
Scroll
down.
You can
scroll down. Here we go. This is our opening hand. You can
even play test it if you scroll down just a teeny bit more.
Playtest, yeah. So I wouldn't mind just talking opening hands, because this is going to be like, I don't know if you've ever sat down and it matters, right? Opening hand is so important. And before you give me pointers, I'm gonna guess here. Archfiend is something you don't want to cast on 4, correct?
Yeah, you'd be correct here.
But we've got 4 lands and 2 pieces of removal. And I assume that we're going to likely see a lot of removal in our opening hand because the deck is loaded with it. Is this a keep?
That hand is money. Yeah, that hand is money.
Yeah. This is tapped unless you control 2 other ones.
This is impressive. I'm happy to see this right now. This is kind of cool. It's kind of inspired me to make, not like, if anything, I'd have to proxy a list like this, frankly, with my budget right now. But you know what? The more I'm like,
I mean, that's why I'm enlisting Rocky to borrow it from.
That's funny. Yeah.
This is a $571 American, I guess, list. Yeah, like standard decks are expensive now.
Hey, do you remember your standard deck at the time when you were playing Nicole Bolas and you had all those unset land or the Infinity lands, I think it was? And
well, yeah,
like, we did like
that was like I Gucci'd out the basics because I had them, but like if you put a list in on Moxfield or whatever, it's going to show you the minimum price, right? Yeah. And I'm assuming that this minimum price is pretty inflated because of the 2 copies of Shieldred in the sideboard.
That's exactly it. So I'm gonna be honest with you. I don't have the 2 copies of Shieldred in here. I don't understand why they're in the sideboard. I don't understand when you bring.
Well, I happen to know somebody that's got 2 copies of Shieldred. Actually, do any of you guys, Brady or Brandon, do you have any copies of Cavernous Souls?
I do.
Not.
I have 2 actually.
Perfect.
That's the choose a creature type, right?
Yeah, the land that makes them uncounterable. Cool.
I have 2 Shieldreds and 2 Cavernous Souls.
Yeah.
Hey, this deck could use some Cavernous Souls as my modification playing it, because that'll help prevent your Etali from getting countered. So.
She's got a named dinosaur.
Heck yeah. Also, I'd just like to make note, because we've had some people ask about it from like around YouTube, around Reddit, around some of our other social medias. If you have a deck that you want to see us play, ideas for a commander that you just want to see us like run away with, sort of thing, let us know. Like, shoot down in the comments of this video. Like find a way to let us know like what you're thinking. Because if you want to see us pilot a specific commander, or you want us to like build a specific deck to like see on the channel at some point, we'd love to like take some of these ideas and run away with them.
Yeah, totally. Like Twitch streamers do that, where they'll take like donos or whatever, right? Like play my deck. Like, man, I will subject myself to some hilarious shit. You tell me what deck to play and I'll do it.
Exactly.
I do want to draw one more hand here, because the first one was it seemed like a keep. It's like low cost removal, 4 lands. This one
looks like an even bigger keep.
We've got 3 lands: Takanuma, Blackleaf Cliffs, and a swamp. The virtue is a 2-drop early removal in a -3/-3. Breach.
You got that big score.
Breach is a late game 7-drop. It's big score will get you there. Burn down the house. The only early play here is virtue. So that's the only thing that worries me, right? What do you feel?
Yeah. So the hand you're seeing here, it would be very dependent on what type of deck your opponent's playing.
Mm-hmm.
This type of hand is a little too slow if you're playing a fast deck, but if you're playing against an Atraxa deck, this is more than fine. So you really got to be mindful that your hand is very dependent on how fast your opponent can tempo out on you. Otherwise, this hand would just be too slow. You'd be dead before you could cast anything.
Yeah, true. Yeah. All right, we'll do one more hand. Just snap it off. We got 2 lands. We got 2 Archfiend.
Just 2 more minutes. Just 2 more minutes. Luca.
Yeah, 2 minutes. My little 2-year-old.
Well, apparently I woke up earlier. Oopsies.
Oh shit.
Yeah, I'm not sure if you noticed my whole tempo changed.
Uh-oh.
Yeah, that's fine. No, it was at the very beginning, 37 minutes ago.
Oh, okay. No bother. So this hand, Brotherhood's End is a 3-drop.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, but 2 lands in hand and 2 Archfiends. If I had to take a guess, that's likely a necessary.
Yeah, I think I would ship this, correct?
Yeah, you'd be correct. Yeah.
Cool.
So the rule of thumb for this deck is that you really should at least have 3 lands in hand.
3 lands and a couple early plays.
Yeah, it'd be nice to have the early plays, but no matter what, I would say the non-negotiable is the 3 lands. I have yet to ever keep a hand that has at least 3. Just because you do need to curve out. You need to play a land every turn.
And color correct.
Yeah.
Like
not necessarily color correct. The reason being is because your Field of Ruins and your land destruction will help you search for the lands.
Yeah.
So you have 7 of them in here between Field of Ruin and the other one.
Oh yeah, we're looking at 3 Demolition Field and 4 Field of Ruin. So
Demo Field. Yeah, you got it. So you got 7 of them.
Man.
Yeah, and so you're gonna want to cut 2 of those for Cavern of Souls.
Yeah. So this is a whole game in itself in figuring out which land to take your opponent off of.
Am I literally going to lend like $500 worth of cards to Tanner?
Hey, my sugar daddy.
We're going to go to a different city. That's insane. When I got the first one, it was a birthday gift from one of my closest friends here, and it was amazing. It's also foil.
The shielded?
Yeah, like I was
Apocalypse.
Yeah, like brand new, like literally like a week old. I was like, bro, thank you. And then the second one I was a dummy and I bought, and I maybe starved for 2 weeks. I'm not gonna lie.
But even back then, they weren't even as pricey.
I bought it was $80.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. If you're playing cardboard futures, you're actually winning right now. So. Yeah.
Cool. I mean, that love is being shared with Brandon here soon. So.
Well, I want to say thank you very much, like for trusting me to pilot one of your like very sick decks that I had no idea what it was that you were playing. I was just like, I trust Rocky. I'm gonna ask him. Let's see if he'll let me spin the wheels on this.
There's gonna be an insurance policy. We're gonna double deck it, double sleeved, everything. It's gonna have a chest transport.
I will. I will also split my whatever winnings I get with the deck.
Yeah. Just don't forget your double trigger on the Chandra, please.
Okay.
Yeah, because if you forget the double trigger, the judge will not.
Be like, Judge, excuse me, I just 1 moment. Yeah. Call it Rocky. What did you say?
Yeah. No, it's because specifically because it's worded you may choose, right?
Yep.
No, because if you miss the trigger and the board state changes, they can't go back.
Right. Okay.
I actually don't know. I can't remember if it says you may. I can't.
Yes. So it says whenever you cast, you may choose. No, wait. An instant or sorcery spell copy it. So no, it's not a may as to whether or not the spell is copied. It's just a may.
Correct.
As to the choosing new targets.
Correct. But if you fail to recognize the trigger and the board state has changed, and you've already made too many moves, you can't go back.
Right. Well, I am not promising you that I will play this deck perfectly. I am going to leverage the amazing 2 people here to my Brady and Brando. I'm gonna
have a healthy bank.
Yeah, like
our card selection altogether is healthy, so we'll be able to help you out for
sure. What I'm asking,
I now have to start digging for 2 Cavern of Souls though. That's gonna be irritating.
Ooh, yeah.
My decks are all packed up. I have to unpack some of my decks.
Oh shit!
It's fine.
It could be the difference, Brady.
Honestly, the difference. 2 Caverns of Souls, like literally, the first one I like bought a long time ago, and then I can't even remember. I got the MH2, the last one that came out. Whenever one got released, I got a Cavern of Souls then. So I just happened to look out, and then same thing with the Shieldred. So it's actually pretty cool. I'm able to really help out this Saskatoon trip moment. So
yeah, teamwork.
If if any of the viewers right now can tell me why they think that they're playing Shieldreds in the sideboard, I still can't figure it out. I don't know what matchup I would sideboard in the Shieldreds in, to be honest.
Yeah, so I guess we're thinking that like the Shieldreds are there and we can put them in the sideboard. We just don't know which matchup they're.
Yeah, I don't really know what they go up against. So.
Any card dependent, any card draw dependent brew. It's like, that synergy was drawing a lot of cards, and I lost. Well, maybe the Shieldred Mill will make a difference. It'll be like sideboard in the moment, especially if you're holding. Like moments like that will come down to the intuition of the player. Like, okay, I definitely feel like this is a dead card in my hand for this one moment. Like it'll be on the spot probably, in which you'll know what card to swap out for Shieldred. So,
yeah. All right. Well, I feel like I may need to have one more little like locker room primer with Rocky before I go out and step into the field and play. But I am curious. Like you invited to come down to Ogre's Den to play some Pauper tomorrow. What deck are you playing in Pauper?
I think tomorrow, just because I am very tired, I'll be playing Affinity, just because Affinity is so straightforward.
Oh, that's the all the glitters, right?
Yeah, you got it.
I am right now doing my best to create a hybrid of that brew, and I'm just trying to be cocky, but also creative. I'm gonna find the bridge between all that glitters and ethereal armor.
Okay.
And I want to make, so I'm gonna, instead of clues, I want to somehow find a knack with enchantment creatures. And what inspired me with that was the ninja from Kamigawa. I was like, shit, that's a blue creature, enchantment creature from a completely different set. So I'm like, and I was like kind of resourcing or like looking for more or less applicable Pauper spells from the original Theros. It's kind of hard. So I'm gonna keep kind of digging. I could have probably done way better searching with Scryfall, but honestly, I think I can do it. I think I can find the bridge there.
My worry is that like you're taking an artifact focused deck, which is all artifacts, and then there's enchantment focused deck. No, but are you also doing all that glitters? Because all that glitter, all the glitters also cares about enchantments, doesn't it?
Exactly. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Because I was going to say,
costs 1.
Yeah. So you're going to switch it basically more to an enchantment build. Yeah. Okay.
Yep. Yeah. But so far, we'll try to see it works. I've seen every other deck so far since we talked about it last time. Or like the artifact really does slap. The affinity, you can't argue with that. So definitely lesser tiered. If anything, I'll just have fun with it and then go for the affinity brew. But whatever. So far,
it's actually funny. Oh, it's actually funny. I was gonna say the deck you want to probably build is mono white. So just mono white. Yeah, mono white artifacts, and then you have enchantment creatures. So
there's a few 1-drops from Theros. There's like that one that has lifelink, it has bestow as well. But honestly, a 1/1 with lifelink, and then also potentially first strike. Sounds pretty sweet. Okay, I'm gonna follow your advice here.
Yeah. Man. So you want to build probably mono white there.
Cool. We have a Pauper consultant now for the channel, boys. This is great.
Yeah.
I'm definitely going to utilize a lot of your skills because I still have no idea what I'm doing with Pauper. Pauper Commander, I can work around because I am a Commander player. Pauper 60, I've put 2 together and they're all right. Like the first one I put together is Golgari Tron. Kind of. It's just fast land and then big like 5/4s and 8/9s with trample, and it's like, it does things, but in the face of like infect, I'm gonna get bodied.
You know what? Props to Tanner for getting me really excited about that, because when I showed him my Dimir brew, he's like, "Okay, cool, but have you thought of Simic?" And then we went through some deck tags, and since then I've been hooked. I am so excited now. I'm making, as much as there's like a metaphor, and I want to respect the meta. Pauper, well, I mean, in 60 card, I don't know. I think there's a chance to be creative, not necessarily go hyper tier competitive. Like my Simic brew is fast. It is devastating. I can win turn 2. We've done the math now. It's possible.
Fantastic. So fantastic.
Yeah. Got a bunch of those 1-drops.
It's funny because like this Ultratron deck that I finally put together, because I was talking with you, Rocky, at Face to Face about like I've got the Tron shell. I just don't know where to go with it. There was Jeskai. There's all these different builds. The Ashnod's Altar Mirror Retriever Loop one is it's the one that grabbed me. But like.
Yeah, it's nice.
It's got Weather the Storm, which is a storm card. You're basically casting a number of low-cost spells in the turn, and then you'll cast Weather the Storm to gain maybe 15 life because you get the 5 storm triggers, and it buffers your life total to continue going on extra turns. But against Infect, that does nothing.
Yep.
Right? Like against Infect, you're like, well, I guess I'll just die.
Guess I'll just die.
The original conception of the deck was pretty cheeky. I used supernatural stamina, which honestly, at the end of the day, it's kind of like, it's almost like utilizing Snakeskin Vial. It gives it, at least if it does die, it returns tapped, so limited, and obviously it only increases it by 2. But having that just come back potentially, or even has holding it in my hand a few times, because when I beat Tanner when we did our best of 3 once on the channel. One of those games ended up coming down to having a Watery Wings or a Titanic Growth style card, as well as the mono black spell. So it was turn 3, I dealt 7 infect, and he was like, "Oh!"
Yeah, it's like,
so
what am I gonna do? Like, Popper's so cool.
I've actually thought about building that Infect deck, so I'll be very
It's
interested.
good.
To see how it
No,
does
honestly,
tomorrow.
we'll link you the brew. I have it all uploaded now on my Mox field, so I'll share it with you.
Cool. Yeah, and we'll put it in the description of this podcast.
Heck yeah.
Yeah, if any of you guys ever are in need of a Popper deck, I've got 5 different decks built. So
Good to know.
Yeah, we're gonna have. We were talking about it with Tanner. We're gonna have like a pretty. We're gonna have like a wall, like a Popper wall, like shelf unit thing. You know, it's interchangeable. Hey, who wants to play what? You know, whatever.
Yeah, I'd like to.
It's hard to. It's hard to make it like feel your own, right? Like it's more of like a community thing. Popper, at the end of the day, even though it's 1v1, depending on how you want to play it, but specifically 1v1, you know, like just get up and go. You know, like, it all comes down to your skill at that point. It's not about your deck. You're not about your amazing deck building. Yeah. It's about how true a player you are, and how much of how efficient a player you are, how fast you can be. You know, that kind of stuff. Depending on the tier, I'm sure there's casual 1v1 Popper.
Yeah, sure. And that's what I love about it is that it's all about the pilot more than anything, right? Yeah. I mean, the playing field has been balanced out.
Yep.
Anybody can build a deck. You can't get priced out of a deck.
Yeah.
And that pilot analogy honestly does transfer into almost every format. Like you can have. We just had props to Matthew, who just came onto our channel recently. He was a very, very skilled player. Amazing etiquette, especially when you're playing with him. He, Brandon, do you remember that turn? I was just like, why didn't I record that? His turn 3 win with Kinnan. Yeah. One of the most elaborate, like word for word. He was a beat poet. He was like, okay, I'm going to do this, and I'm going to hit, and I'm going to present this infinite. He was like, wait. And they kind of did like this. Oh yeah, I have to win. And there's and then even though he had like a speed bump, it was a minute tops of explaining it.
It was
like, I've never seen that.
It was beautiful.
Surgical.
Amazing. And then you get to see a little bit of that. If any of you listening, head over to the channel. It's our tribe or typal episode.
I like saying typal tribe.
Typal tribe.
Yeah, it trolls, but whatever.
It's triple.
My iteration of triple. I did want to say this about Matthew, or in terms of the pilot analogy. So it really does. Like he ended up playing my Gallus Death deck, and without really realizing what it couldn't do. You know, he still had amazing turns. Like he knew exactly what to do, what to play. So again, it comes down to the pilot. You can be, you know, one of the worst players in the world and play a really strong deck, and it won't matter. It literally won't matter. One of the best players in the world and play one of the weakest decks, and there's a chance you're going to be playing it better than any noob. Period. You know, it's night and day. Frankly, when it comes to it, the pilot makes all the difference.
Well, I mean, there's a reason that when you look at Magic Worlds, it's usually the same faces. Like Reed Duke is an absolute amazing Magic player. So there's a reason why he's always at the World Tour.
Yeah.
Yeah. Who was our most recent world champion? Geez, who was it? It was Nathan. Was it Nathan Stoyer, or was that the previous year?
Yeah, no, it was Nathan Stoyer. That's what it was. For the last Pro Tour, for the last Worlds.
Yeah, and I guess for anybody watching, if you haven't ever like gone back and like go look up YouTube and search up the Magic World Championship, and we'll go watch like a finals round. Like it's the pinnacle of competitive Magic. It's the best of the best that are like people that are, you know, you win enough Pro Tours or whatever to get an invite to the World Championship, and then it's the best in the world competing for like the greatest. Like it's the Super Bowl. It's the Super Bowl of Magic.
It's the sports ball.
It's the sports ball. But it is so cool to watch people play at that level.
Yeah.
And I recommend going and watching Tournament Magic. The broadcasters do such a good job.
So just because it was funny for bringing up, because you were kind of asking there, Rocky, about like specifically for this brew that Tanner's playing, like where would you slot in the Sholdred? What is like where is that good? And I was just kind of looking here.
Yeah.
For Nathan Stoyer, first card on the list, 3 Shoulder the Apocalypses.
Main deck or sideboard?
Main deck.
Yeah,
he's playing a very different kind of deck though. It looks like he is playing something similar to Rakdos Scam.
Are we looking at his
winning deck? Top 4 standard. Oh, this is standard, not modern.
Yeah, no, we're this deck that Rocky's giving me is standard.
Okay, yeah.
So let me look at this up. Nathan, this is actually we might is EUR?
Yeah.
EUER.
STEUER.
Yeah, Nathan Stoyer, Worlds, Standard
3 Shoulder
deck.
of the Apocalypse, 4 Blood Tithe Harvesters.
Oh yeah, that's Rakdos mid range you're looking at.
Yeah,
As soon as you say Blood Tithe Harvesters,
Yeah.
yeah, that's mid range. So very different deck.
Yeah.
We're talking
very different
about boom, boom, boom. Event World Championship. Grixis midrange is
I
what
think it's
Nathan
Grixis.
Stoyer was
Oh
playing.
yeah, Grixis midrange.
Yeah. Is there a visual view on this website? There we go. Visual view. Okay, we're gonna punch up the just while we look at this.
Bankbuster.
Goal Reckoner
RIP
Bankbuster.
Bankbuster.
A Braid, man. A Braid, just a good card. Blood Tithe Harvester
Braid's
too.
great. Super competitive spell, honestly.
Yeah, we're gonna go ahead and say like these cards right here. 4 of Fable of the Mirror Breaker, 4 of Invoke Despair.
Yeah.
The bane of Standard at this point, because Fable's banned right now.
Yep.
It did eventually catch a ban, I believe, after this event.
Yep.
Fable of the Mirror Breaker is such a good card, and I remember like during previous season, people were like, "I don't know, like the token seems like it'll be okay." It's
The
like
token's worth so much money now. Actually, I was like, okay, because I lucked out. I got one during the draft. Actually, the one time I actually drafted the goddamn.
And, that what is it? The Goblin Shaman token.
Yeah, it's worth like $8 American.
Shaman.
Oh yeah. Sure
Something
is.
like that.
No, okay. You want to know what's hilarious? What I heard on, I heard this on a podcast recently, and we'll talk about the OG modern players, this and that.
Yeah.
It's more expensive than I said.
This token, the Goblin Shaman token, is more expensive than Tarmogoyf right now. There used to be a day where Tarmogoyf was the biggest, baddest thing in Modern, and it was like hundreds of dollars. And now the Goblin Shaman token from Fable of the Mirror Breaker is worth more than friggin' Tarmogoyf.
That's funny.
Yeah, Magic is funny. Magic is very funny. Anyway,
That's why trading cardboard futures is
Nothing but laughter and tears.
yeah.
Tears and laughter and tears. That's all Magic is.
Well, is there anything else anybody wants to touch on? We're just over an hour and 12.
I do. I want to shamelessly plug some things I've been working really hard on, boys. I am, for those not aware, a perfumer. I'm a huge hobbyist with it. I'm very excited about it. And very soon here, I'm going to be releasing a string of colognes, essential oil perfumes and such, all Magic themed. This one I'm holding in my hand right now is in a sage bottle, but I call it Nemesis. I've been puffing it just like this whole time, just like
just huffing it.
So good. This is one of my I'm just really proud. Like,
Can confirm the scents he makes are phenomenal, and they're very different, like in a good way. Like they're not the scents that you could encounter people wearing on your regular day to day, but they stand out. Like
this one's a very complicated blend using the base of patchouli and frankincense. So the patchouli is very, very overpowering. I have a little bit of ylang ylang, and frankincense, bergamot, and I think I added like a few drops of lavender. I have to like figure out the proportions exactly for this, but I like once this said now, like my neurodivergence will understand it. I pretty much have remember how to make it. My last one that was really good, and I could bring this anywhere. I'd douse my going into a show or like with my fan, right? My prop fan. You just cover it a little bit with my perfume, and you go into any club, and people stop, and they're like, "Oh man!" Like at what was it, Electrodio? People were just like, "Oh, that like you're dancing among a bunch of really sweaty, smelly people." Sometimes
people coming in for the.
Yeah, just put it up, and people were approaching me, and I was like, "What is that?" I'm like, "It's my own perfume." And like, "What do you do?" I'm like, "What do you call it?" I'm like, "Well, I call this a Johnny's Bane." And they're like, "What?" And well, it kills cats. It is true. A lot of essential oils, the majority of them, I would say 95% of essential oils will kill a cat.
Yeah.
They're not going to go out of the way to consume it.
We have 3 cats in this house.
No, I'm aware. I don't get to diffuse very often because of it. And honestly, whenever I do wear this, you won't see me. Like if you smell me, you'll also not be able to see. You'll never see me hold Johan. So there's going to be a lot of disclaimers. In fact, I want to spread awareness of this because there's a lot of animals that are put through quite a lot when it comes to it, and they have the strongest smells and schnozzes in the world.
Yeah, they do.
And this stuff is poisonous to them, frankly. And there's not enough of that.
Yeah,
I really want to hopefully use this Magic the Gathering themed line of perfume to also spread animal health awareness.
Animal health awareness. Oh yeah, might as well. So
why is it called Johnny's Bane? This will kill your cat.
So everybody stay tuned for Sense by Brady.
Sense by Brady.
Ooh.
Sense by Megan.
Is there? Hold on.
This
Is
one's
there?
called Nemesis because it slays.
Is there a magic card that has the word sense in it that you could theme this off of?
I almost said something, but it was a freaking magic. It was a Pokemon move.
Anyway.
Okay, wait. Urza's Destiny. Scent of Ivy. Scent of Cinder. Oh, there's a whole lot. There's a bunch of these cards. Scent of Cinder.
Scent of Cinder. Cinderglade. Scent of
that's-
Cinderglade. No,
that's
I'm
hilarious.
gonna like this one's called Nemesis. I have a Johnny's Bane. I'm gonna work on a couple more. I have one called the Artificer that's kind of in the works. It's like a less intense mint kind of fusion of things. I want it to kind of like, I don't know, not be like, you know, when you wear like, no, like I'm working with eucalyptus and mints and stuff like that, and honestly those are intense. Like the profiles are insane, so I'd be very careful with it. You can ruin a lot of things with just a single drop of peppermint.
Oh yeah.
And eucalyptus is the same way, even though it's very like, but they're both incredibly medicinal for their own reasons.
Yeah,
but
like what?
just,
Like every
yeah,
candy cane ever?
yeah, you touch your eyeball with just a tiny bit. You're gonna be like, it's almost like bear spray. Getting mint in your eye, essential oil. That's happened to me a few times. It's just, yeah.
All right.
Brady, if you can make me one that's got Noctrom in it, I will definitely.
I know how to make that. There's the scents actually from Champa are sandalwood with patchouli and a couple other ones.
Yeah.
So that's easy enough.
So if you want to make me one that's got hints of that, I would love it.
I'll call it the Jund.
The Giant.
Oh yeah. Okay. One thing we got to touch on before we go. Sorry, Mercy in chat saying, I know y'all are past an hour, but we can all complain about how fast the cats and dogs secret layer sold. We will.
Yeah, it's not surprising.
Yeah.
It's
Well,
not surprising.
not surprising at all.
I
No,
didn't
they
even
went
blink.
fucking
As soon as I saw it,
instantly.
I'm like, this is an impossible mission for the majority of the world.
Yeah, so
I'm not going to bite.
I want to just say, as a PSA to anybody, thanks, Kyle. If this is a good stream, thank you. I'm going to warn you as well. If you want to buy secret layers from now on, things have changed, and I just want everybody to know that. If you see a secret layer get announced and you're like, oh, that seems like something I would like to buy.
Yeah.
Wizards has gone full jealous girlfriend or whatever, right? Like they're just like, no, like you either get it today or never, and it's. I guess that's
Wizards
what
would be a
right.
jealous girlfriend, wouldn't they?
When did the Rin and Siri one, the cats and dogs one, like that's only been a week or something, right? And now it's all gone. So
Yeah.
Oh, it's been 6 hours. 6 hours.
I did look it up, like all those original Rin series style brews. If you see any of those cards, like the Araba spells, like literally the price has jumped.
Mercy says 2 days ago.
Brady.
Oh,
There's a Jetmir.
Yeah, Jetmir's.
Yep.
A dual-sided Jetmir where either he has like the whole like Dr. Evil cat on his lap, or he's got a pack of 3 Rottweilers ready to like murk.
Well, I'm so sorry, Brandon, to let you know, but those all sold out.
Hey, they might be sold out, but the secondary market still exists, maybe.
I know. I lost my chance in the Meep. I was gonna buy the secret lair for the hoop secret lair that just came out with like the 4-color doctor, and the one that really made me cry with happiness, like. And I'm probably still punch a baby for it. Is the Meep? I really want to get my hands on. Oh, it's a mono black crater hoop for 3 mana and some setup. But
yeah,
so
Mercy
cute.
Mercy said it was released 2 days ago and was only available for like 6 hours. So
I mean, I'm not surprised. Realistically,
well, okay, hold on.
They probably. Sorry.
I am surprised. No, so this is in response to what you're saying. I am surprised because they said that they were going to switch to from print on demand, which was perfect.
Yeah.
Print on demand was like, here's these special editions. We're going to basically make it, let you tell us how many people want them, right? And then we'll print them. Yeah. You just have to wait until, like, basically what that meant was that they had to wait till all the order expectations were filled, and then they would print the orders. But now they're like, well, we want to get them out quicker, so we're just going to anticipate. We're going to estimate how many people want them. I'm going to go ahead and say right now that they did not do a good job estimating how many available Rin and Seri or cat and dog ones were supposed to. They botched that because, like,
I beg to differ. Yeah, I beg to differ.
Really?
I think that their marketing team and their profiting team knew exactly what they were doing.
God damn it, you're right.
We're talking about dogs and cats.
I mean, not even past that, but it's like until we get secondary numbers, it's like. Other secret lair product has been able to like sit there and maybe gotten huge orders kind of thing, but this is something, especially after the last dual-sided deck they did, the heads you win, tails you lose, that people have been vocal about online about hating themselves for missing out. They probably sold more of this stock than any, like, than
you know what?
Sold
I did see an image of it. It was like somebody was like online. There was somebody saved a image of the screen tap or something of what they were expecting for the wait time to get the deck. And I was like, again, like I'm so glad I just,
you know what,
when you bandwagon that and you're heartbroken from it, it is actually, especially when it comes to dogs and cats. Let's be real.
I want to say
dogs and cats rule the world. That's why.
Okay, I want to say, judging like repositioning my opinion here based on what Rocky just said. They probably were going to cut this one at 6 hours no matter how many sold, because now that they've changed the way things are working, they have to engineer the hype. They have to be like, okay, if this one was going to be guaranteed to sell out too quick, which then sets them up for profit for all the rest.
Oh yeah.
Well, but like, are they actually? I'm so
we'll just
confused.
have to see, right? We'll just have to see.
Well, if you look at the numbers now, you can buy the deck right now if you want to. It's just instead of paying $160 for it, you're paying $400. So on the secondary market right now, you can buy cats and dogs. It's $400.
Yeah.
So it's gone up by 120% almost.
No, especially for this, I wouldn't be surprised. I wouldn't be surprised if there was, regardless of the limit that they wanted to put, if there was like a whole like, there's only so much stock that they can print without it being overwhelmed and having to wait like 2 years to like keep printing this amongst all their other cards. I wouldn't be surprised that they knew and were probably overwhelmed with how many purchases.
We need to wrap this podcast up immediately because I'm going to make a parody logo of Secret Lair that's in the Ticketmaster font.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Okay, before we go then, I just want to shout out, if you're listening to this on Spotify or YouTube or wherever the hell that you're getting your Rogues Passage content, most recently in preparation for this weekend and today again, if you're listening to this because we're at the Face-to-Face Saskatchewan event, Tanner put out after some grueling work and some amazing artistic endeavors.
Not into the 99.
Not into the 99. A recap video for the Face-to-Face Calgary tour back in September. Go check it out. It's super fun. Drop a link, share it to all your friends. It's a good time.
Yeah,
it's a good time. And stay tuned for the Jeff Laubenstein interview coming soon.
Yeah, we got lots of content.
I will. He's like the coolest. Like everyone wants him for a grandpa kind of thing, you know. I know can you adopt me?
Can I what?
I was like, with Jeff Laubenstein, I had the vibes like, can you just adopt me? I was like, Into the Wilds, where where the guy's like heading towards his death, and the old man's like, please let me. I'm like, I would be that guy, and I'd say yes.
Yeah, he was pretty cool. He was pretty nice.
Super nice guy.
Yeah. I want to thank you, Rocky, for coming on the episode. We've been talking about this for, I guess, since the last Calgary event. Yeah. And
it's almost went cross over the strats there, but yeah, it was great. Thanks.
I gotta, at some point, I guess, between now and when we leave midday Friday, I gotta come get that deck.
Well, you can get it tomorrow. With, Popper.
That's right.
Yeah, I hope to see all of you, and I hope to see a lot of you fine folk who are here in Calgary to come join us for Popper. It's a fantastic community we have. So
yeah, we're gonna be throwing some events here when we can at Ogres. It's a good crowd. Adrian, I have a lot of respect for Adrian. So he's a wise and sage, that one.
Heck yeah. All right. Well, thanks for hanging out, everybody on stream. I'm blown away, actually. We always have like a lot of chat engagement, which is really, really humbling.
Yeah, we're getting there.
Yeah, thank you guys so much for the support. Because like, honestly, people firing off in the chat and interacting, it adds a whole, like, you know, the room doesn't feel empty. It feels really nice. It feels like there's like an actual community going on here. If you want to check out our YouTube, if you haven't, that video that I put out today, I'm really happy with it. It was super fun. And I can't wait to do another video with Standard. My first time actually finally playing Standard against. I'm hoping I get paired up against some people that I can at least enjoy my matches with.
You're gonna run into an alpha geek, and you're gonna be like.
All right. Well, we'll send it off there. I guess. Love you guys. Thanks for listening to the Rogues Passage podcast. Fingers in the lenses.
Fingers in the lenses.
We'll see you guys later. Bye.